So welcome everybody. Welcome to this session. We will speak about how to create content at scale. My name is Samuel Schmitt. I'm the head of sales and marketing of VASS Switzerland, and I'm together with my colleague, Jonathan. Who are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm leading the consulting and the pre-sales activity. I'm also located in Switzerland, and I'm very happy to be the moderator today, presenting the From Ideas to Impact. You will tell a bit more, Samuel. And of course, everyone, this will be around 45 minutes presentation with examples and so on. But please stay tuned because at the very end, we will collect your questions and answer them live with Samuel.
Exactly. And I guess if you're watching this webinar or watching the replay on YouTube, you might be a marketer, you might have a funnel, and our goal at VASS is to help you to turn it into a growth engine. I would like to make focus also on our next webinar. In fact, we are starting a series of webinars, and today is the first one. In 1 month, you will be able also to see how one of our Swiss customers was able to accelerate the publication of his websites with a great CMS from Adobe. So if you are interested by innovative solution from Adobe, join the next webinar. In November, we will have a focus on this innovative CMS, which is called Adobe Edge Delivery Services. So on the 20th of November, the session will be more from IT people. Our IT expert will explain how this CMS works and how you can start a project with this new CMS. And finally, in December, we'll have a last webinar for this year where we'll speak about how to turn your content into growth. Basically, once your content is published, how to do A/B testing, personalization, how to basically get some ROI from your content. But today, it's about turning content into growth. So let's speak about the topic of today. Jonathan, tell me about your pain point.
Yeah, we discussed that a few weeks ago already, that content nowadays, is it still something that we should rely on? Because we had discussion with some of our clients, and also besides being a pre-sales lead, I have a website, and I have seen that recently I have less and less traffic on this website. And I was starting wondering, what about content? How can we do something with the content nowadays? And based on this discussion we had, we started with this webinar, and actually with the AI especially. What do you think now, Samuel? What should we do with content?
Exactly. So we saw this issue, and our customers are asking themselves and asking us if it still makes sense to create content, because as you just said, clicks are reducing, traffic is going down, it's harder to generate leads via the inbound channel. So does it still make sense to create content? AI is a threat. AI also creates stress because things are changing. It's clear that now in this era, in this AI age, content consumption is fragmented even more than before. I mean, content consumption was always fragmented. We know the classic, or let's say classic channel, which are the search. People were also finding content via YouTube, video content, also social media might be also a key channel for you, for customer, for enterprise. And there is also this new channel now, which is ChatGPT or any other conversational interface like Gemini, Claude, or the LLM, right? And so in these fragmented channels also, not only the channel are getting more and more complex, but also the formats. On Google search, you can find text, obviously, but also images, videos. On YouTube, videos, short videos, different format here, even if it's the same type. Social media, shorts, images, text, and finally on LLM and this AI search, you have conversation with your bot, and also it creates summaries. So we can understand here that let's say, finding information is getting more and more complex. I mean, our customer might be a bit everywhere or anywhere. if we want like to make a focus as well on Google search, I mean, you might be impacted as well by Google search. We had a discussion with one of our customers who told us that AI overviews are getting more and more space and reducing clicks and traffic. So this is here what you can see is a Google search, obviously, and at the top you can see a summary generated by Google itself. So what does it mean? It means that your web pages are pushing down. And I will go further into that in a few slides. And very soon, it's already live in the US and it might be live very soon worldwide. I don't know if you're aware of the AI mode of Google, and I can show you some video here. So first, what you see here is AI overview, so a summary. But now Google comes with something even more advanced, like you can start to discuss with the search, like if you speak with ChatGPT. And Google will start to fetch information from website and create this rich view. So here again, you can see that nowhere your website is mentioned. Well, in fact, it's not really true. Your website is referenced here and there, but clearly here Google is fetching all the information and providing something really unique to the user.
Do you think this will be the, let's say, the new standard, the default search?
Hard to say. What I know or what I read is that Google obviously is making some tests, AI mode, AI overview. I think the future will be a mix of everything. Also, we have to keep in mind that Google needs to also integrate Google Ads into this new realm. So also for Google, it's a challenge because they still need to keep their business model alive while embracing the new way of searching information. So I don't know, but what I'm sure is that the challenge is ahead, and we need to be prepared for that. This is why also we did this webinar today, because we wanted to answer the question if creating content makes sense, and also if scaling content makes sense, because the last 2-3 years with all the AI generative way of creating content, we see a lot of chat around online. And I wanted to highlight this recent test from a LinkedIn user who basically generated 1,000 AI content pages. And what you can see is obviously like a big spike. Clearly, if you create 1,000 pages with AI, your traffic will go up, but it's not sustainable, because you can see that at some point, Google will realize that your content makes no sense, that is generated by AI, that doesn't bring any added value. So our point is that we are not advocating for creating AI content at scale, and I will stay polite. So this is not scaling content. I would like to speak about another interesting case study. You might know HubSpot. Personally, HubSpot, I know them since 26. They educated me. When I was a young marketer and I was looking for information about inbound marketing, I went on Google and HubSpot was often the first blog post. They educated me. They told me about inbound, about content marketing and so on. They created a lot of content. They were honestly like a god in terms of SEO. And what you can see is that they lost a lot of traffic in January. 80% of traffic loss from organic traffic. How is possible that a company that was really advocating SEO content were able to lose so much traffic? There is 3 main reasons why HubSpot lost traffic. The first one, irrelevant content. I will come into that in the next slide, explain what it means. Scene and generic content. And the last point, AI search, that as we saw, was taking more space on Google search and reducing click-through rate. For the first 2 points, you have an impact. You have a direct impact on that. For the third point, you have to understand what it means and what kind of content strategy is working in 2025 to be visible in AI search. I will speak first about the irrelevant or generic content, because you might have such content on your website right now. You might have created content. You might spend time to create this kind of content. So does it make sense to create generic content? Look, these examples. HubSpot created content about cover letter example. What is your greatest weakness? Maybe let me step back. If you don't know, HubSpot is a leading CRM and marketing automation tool for enterprise and also small businesses. What's the point to create an article about cover letter example? What's the point of creating what is your greatest weakness? One strategy between, let's say, 2015 and 2022 was to create more and more content and to go beyond your main, let's say, core business or core topics, right? This is what now Google is cutting. And this is why one of the reasons why HubSpot saw a decline in their traffic. They created content that makes no sense. So here they don't speak to their ICP. They don't speak to their target audience. So if you have that on your website, think twice about your content strategy and why you waste time in creating that. Another point, AI search and declining click-through rates. There is studies out there that AI overviews is reducing clicks. And you saw it before. I mean, you see this big block on top of the search. I mean, obviously, people, they get the information, they read the summary, they go away. They scroll down less and less. So it's clearly here, it has an impact. So here, it's hard to fight against Google, so you need to understand how does it work.
Should we stop taking care of Google the way we did?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, you know, and more and more people are now moving to LLM, like optimizing for ChatGPT. Yes, it makes sense. It's the next channel. And anyway, search, Google search and ChatGPT for me are complementary channels. It's not one or the other, it's both. And still, Google is still the main channel where people look for information. You can speak to your executive. If you're in the enterprise and you're selling insurance, or if you're selling, I don't know, bank services, people are still finding you via Google. Here is this graphic is showing traffic sources. Basically, which channel brings the most traffic to websites. This is done by Ahrefs, by the way. They have a public website where you can see in real time traffic source comparison. And the blue line here is Google. So Google bring between 40 to 50% of the traffic. I mean, between 40 to 50% of traffic are coming via Google. And you see the line below are ChatGPT. Bing is a search engine, right? The yellow line. So Google is still the leading channel. And this is the one you should understand, because also other channels rely on LinkedIn. Some test has been done that ChatGPT is using Google search. So basically, when ChatGPT doesn't have the knowledge inside its, let's say, a corpus of content, it will perform a web search. It can use Bing, but also it might look on Google. And so it means that Bing, let's say, when you rank well on Google, you might also be visible on ChatGPT, but the opposite might not be true. So here in the middle is your customer. Your customer is looking for information about your product, about your company, about your services. All around are all the information that is worldwide available. The biggest library is still Google. I'm not sure, let's say, stressing too much that Google is the main channel, but it's something you should consider to build your content strategy. And you will see why I'm saying that often, because in the next part of this webinar, in, let's say, 5 minutes, I will share with you a way to create a content strategy step by step for an enterprise that will leverage data from Google and as well understanding your customer pain points. So, as I said, you need to understand Google. Through Google, you can see who is searching. Through Google, you can see who are the persona behind the search, what kind of format they're looking for, and so on. So here, I want you to focus again on this Google search view. And again, the AI overview, because this is now, let's say, coming most of the time for many and many more searches. Every day, there is an AI overview popping up. And you have to understand a bit how this is working. So here the search was how to choose an insurance company in Switzerland. So let's say, yeah, I'm looking for an insurance company. I'm looking for different insurance. The AI overview is making a summary. So it's helping me how I need to perform my search, that I need to identify some insurance, that I need to compare, etc. And on the right side, you can see a list of sources. These are the websites that are used by the AI summary to create the content. All right, so Google is fetching sources, websites, grabbing the best content on these different websites to create the summary.
Interesting fact here is that I will not name any insurances, but I cannot recognize any brand here. So it seems that those are guides or helping expats, but not insurances.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. So, and it will link also to how to define your content strategy. You need to understand the sources used here, because here what you can see this is a focus on the different sources. What do we see here? Best health insurance in Switzerland for foreigners. Health insurance comparison 2025. Health insurance in Switzerland complete guide for expat. So the first 3 blocks here will show us already something quite interesting. It's that the target or the searcher is clearly a foreigner or an expat. Because obviously, in Switzerland, they speak French or German mostly. So if somebody starts to search on the Google search of Switzerland in English, it's most likely that this guy is an expat. So really, Google gives you a good sign about who is the searcher. It's an expat. Then also it gives you what kind of format works the best here. Is that clearly guides, list. And also it shows you that, as you said, Jonathan, there is no insurance company mentioned directly, but maybe they are listed in one of these guides. So also you, if you're an insurance company in this case, it's unlikely that your website will pop up here. So for this specific search term, maybe you should partner with one of these guides and try to be displayed there. Also, what you can see on the right, what type of insurance do you need, and CMU or LAMAL. Here is sub-searches. So we ask for how to find an insurance company or insurance Switzerland, and it gives us a subtopic, CMU or LAMAL. It's really a subtopic of the main search. So also here, it indicates a topic that can be covered in our own content strategy. So maybe here as an insurance, I could write a blog post or speak or video on YouTube about CMU or LAMAL, and I might be picked by the AI summary. So we will go further in the let's say in the second part of the webinar in how to set up a content strategy. But we wanted already to give you some hints. So, sorry. A good point, what Jonathan said, no insurance were mentioned, but there were some mentioned in the AI overview summary. And it's also one of the key in 2025 and beyond. I mean, visibility, your brand visibility. We were speaking about clicks, about traffic, but one of the key metrics that you will have to follow will be your brand visibility. Are you mentioned in AI overview? Are you mentioned in ChatGPT? There are tools now out there like that are providing this information. I can drop some name, Ahrefs, SEMrush. Also, Adobe is doing a new tool called Adobe LLM Optimizer that can also analyze your presence in the search, in the AI search, and give you some actionable hints how you can improve this visibility. So this will be also one of our challenge, visibility. But again, you can see that visibility is coming from content, right? So creating great content that pop up in these search terms, and then that the AI used your content to make the summary will be the key, in fact. It's more complex, right? But this is a mechanic. So does creating content matter? Jonathan, what do you think?
With the lesson learned from this first part of the webinar, I would say yes. You especially mentioned that if I do not create content, the LLMs or Google will have nothing to rely on to show my business, my know-how, my services to the searchers, to the people, to the users. And in that case, I may lose some revenue in the future. So yes, I would say creating content matters, but how should I do that?
Yes, and also one thing, if you don't create content, somebody will create content for you, meaning your brand might be mentioned in a different way than you will mention it. So you don't, let's say, own the narrative anymore. So creating content matter. I will just, let's say, summarize what we just said, but content is still king. Clearly, think about yourself in your purchase that you do on a daily basis, or you always has at some point a touch with content. It can be text, blog, video, an influencer, Google Ads, LinkedIn posts. You get influenced by all of these different points to make your purchase. And in the B2B space, trust is key as well. You need to build trust with your audience. So your challenge, to summarize, but we will help you basically to go and to overcome these challenges. You need to increase your brand visibility. Brand visibility is key. You have to be seen. You have to be read, be heard, be watched, and be mentioned. This is also the new thing, being mentioned, and in a good way, obviously. Own the narrative. Your content must be in the right format for the right channel. This is as well something you need to understand, what kind of formats a user on a specific channel is expected. You have one brand, but you might have many products. You might have many websites and many teams. So scaling content is aligning all of that. We won't focus too much on this part in this webinar, but I'm teasing the next webinar where we'll speak about insurance company who had a great marketing strategy. Basically, they created several websites with different goals. They created a funnel of websites with some blog posts to attract traffic, and then another website where they can collect the leads to finally end up with their main website to do the conversion and sell their insurance. So you might be in this case, or you want to go in this direction. Scaling content is key. And we'll explain in the next webinar also how you can orchestrate the publication of website at scale. A key topic, it's a bit technical here, but I mean, it's one of my favorite topic, let's say topic clusters, but it's key also to understand that you should avoid cannibalization, especially when you start to create a lot of content. You should not create two content that will compete against each other. So understanding the topic concept, understanding the cannibalization concept is key. And I will show you later on how to avoid cannibalization when you create content. Also, I repeat here that capturing the right intent is key with long tail and conversational search. Also, I will show you in a few minutes how you can do that, where are the right data to get long tail information and also to cover conversational search. Because now people are also changing the way they search. They type longer sentence. They also ask a question more and more. Look at yourself, how you use ChatGPT, Google now. Your behavior is changing. Finally, 25, and if you watch this webinar in 26, it will be still valid. Scaling content. I repeat, the right topic for the right audience. Think about intent, think about funnel stage, about your channel, and also processes. That is key, how to be more effective with your editorial team. And last, before we go to the, let's say, practical phase of this webinar, I stress that again, because sometimes it's not clear. It's not about more content, it's better content, smarter content, and as well faster, meaning your budget might be reduced, your marketing team might be smaller, but you can still produce more by leveraging AI and the right tool and having the right process in places. And this is what I will show you now. Sorry, I need to drink a bit. So now let's be practical, because we spend now 20 minutes, 26 minutes, and I will try to build a content strategy in 10 minutes. I know, Jonathan, 10 minutes is a bit short. We don't want to say we can build content strategy in 10 minutes, but I would like to show you the steps to help you start with a great content strategy for enterprise. And we took an example, so VASS insurance, or VASS assurance in French. Obviously, VASS is not an insurance website, but we just took this example to give you something concrete. So let's say we are an insurance in Switzerland, and we wanted to sell health insurance, right? And we have a specific product, and I will explain the product very soon. But basically, I will go through this step with you now. And again, it's to give you the base, how you can get started. And obviously, we are happy to help you through these steps. But we will start with the product. What are you selling? And then from this product, you will try to figure out your audience, what questions they might ask, what topics they might search. From this, we will look for long tail from top to the bottom of the funnel. As I said, we need to cover we need to get like a topic universe where our customer will be inside, or their search will be inside this universe, and that will help us also to be visible on search and LLM. Once we have this long topic, this list of topics, we will set up a plan and start basically the workflow to create content by using AI and human. But as I said, let's be practical. So this is one of our products. So our company, our target is foreigners and cross-border workers. So if you are in Switzerland, you might know that Switzerland is surrounded by Italy, France, and Germany. And many workers are crossing the border every day, and they might need a health insurance in Switzerland. So this is our product. We want to target people living in Germany and selling them this insurance. So my product here is represented by a landing pages, but your product can be something else, obviously, but here is our representation of the product. Always start from what you want to sell and think about your audience. This is our second point, our audience. You need to figure out how they will end up on your product. What are the pain points? How they might search? What kind of challenges they have? There is a different way to do that. You can speak with your sales team. You can, if you have a chatbot, you can extract information from your chatbot. You can speak with your customer center team. You can collect information from your product manager, from your executive, but also straightforward, you can use ChatGPT. I know it sounds not really professional to say that, to be honest. When you say, yeah, you can use ChatGPT to get audience and insights, but no, it's true. What I do here, I can share this prompt with you if you by email or just contact me on LinkedIn. It's a straightforward prompt. Here I will provide the text of my landing page and ask ChatGPT simple things. Identify the main topics, identify potential searches, identify pain points, identify informational questions. I just want 40 keywords. Then I have 40 keywords like this. This is what I call my seed keywords. It's the base of my content strategy. From that, I need now to expand. You could say, yeah, I can write 40 articles, that would be good, but maybe you want to write more. And as I said, ChatGPT is not totally true. We need to find in another source of information. And where can we get this other source of information? Google. Straightforward. I mean, on Google search, as I said, Google search is the most, let's say, comprehensive content library in the world. All the content are there. 20 years of data from us. Google is providing questions which Google people also ask. Related searches. Now AI overview providing data. Our approach here at VASS is to extract for every single keyword we will extract data from Google SERP. So real-time data, recent data about customer behavior. So we will enrich our initial list, and for every keyword, we will extract people also ask related searches and AIO data. And we'll continue for every people also ask, we will extract again data and data and data. So we scale here the content research or the topic research by extracting data from Google. And we end up with a long list like this. It can be longer, but you see from this simple 40 seed keywords, I end up in 2,000, 3,000 keywords that could be potential articles. But then you can say, yes, Samuel, good. We don't want to create 3,000 articles. Sure, it's not my point here. And also, you cannot use this list now and just start to create content because, as I said, there might be some overlap between these topics. So you need to figure out what kind of topics you need to cover. What we did so far is just collecting information, right? Collecting information, potential searches, pain point, linked to our product. What we recommend at VASS as well is to, how we do it basically, is that we will group keywords together by similarity, by using SERP similarity. It's called basically keyword clustering. So we are able, from a long list of keywords, to identify similar topics. If you are not familiar with that, I have just a focus on one specific topic, Swiss basic health insurance. There is two keywords here, Swiss basic health insurance and what does basic health insurance cover. These two keywords here are the same. I know they're not the same, but when two persons search for these terms, they will end up on the same Google page. It means that one single answer is needed, one single article, or maybe a video, or maybe something else. We have to also deep dive in each single cluster to understand what is the best format to answer to these questions. But you get the point. From a long list of searches, we end up in group of keywords to avoid cannibalization, to understand as well which topic are for top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. Like this, we can help you prioritize your content strategy. Also, we can come with some formulas and some planning where we can identify on your existing website if you should optimize an existing article or create a new one. This is also scaling because, you know, it's not only creating new content, it's also optimizing existing content. Also, we can set up some priority based on different metrics like the competition out there or the search volume. So this is basically how we can help you to build a content strategy that will be, let's say, ready for AI searches and LLMs. Now that we have a list of potential articles, so let's say now we need to create 20, 30 new articles, we also recommend you to set up a proper content workflow. We also would like to stress the importance of creating content briefs that are full of research. It's important to analyze the search, to understand what your competitor are doing, what is the best format. And we are using some tools, some AI tool also to accelerate the process. Here you can see that this tool has generated a content brief in a few clicks, but we don't stop here. Then we need to look at the competitor. We need to figure out what is the frequent questions, headings, and also we have to include our own uniqueness. This is also one key, I think, in 2025 is that when you create content, you need to come with something unique. You need to bring your own perspective. Don't just copy what is already out there. Follow the trend, but at the same time, bring something unique. Finally, as I said, we really emphasize the fact to have a proper editorial process, including SERP analysis, brief creation. Then you share this brief with your content writer. You have a proper workflow. You will create quality content at scale. I'm close to the end. So I would like to summarize what we just did, because you can reproduce that at your company, and maybe you're already quite close to what we did. So start from your product, understand your audience. I call seed keywords, but basically it's getting an initial list of questions, of searches. Expand this list. The best way we believe is to scrape Google search to extract long tail queries. Then set some priority. Use SERP clustering because this will help you to avoid cannibalization. You won't create twice the same article or article that might compete later on. And finally, also set up a proper workflow with SOP, with editorial guidelines, analyze Google search, use content brief, and work with your writer, leverage AI plus human. And now, once you have this, let's say, content brief created, let's create pages and publish these pages. Jonathan, do we have time now to do the next step, or maybe we should move that to the next webinar?
Actually, if we want to answer the different questions we received, I think this should be part of the webinar on the 28th of October, but you already knew my answer. On the 28th of October, you will also get the link in the chat, by the way, and via email afterwards to register. We will talk about content publication. So we mentioned a bit earlier several clients, and we have one of them that will come and present the use case and this great content strategy that they have implemented and how we use the latest technology from Adobe with Adobe Edge Delivery Services to publish content faster and at scale. On top of that, we even come with some AI workflows to speed up the content creation based on the inputs that Samuel presented today. This is our solution and our toolbox to make sure that you can actually follow this strategy and also make sure that it happens.
Great. So let's move to the Q&A. I will stop sharing and let's, Jonathan, maybe you have a first question.
Yeah, sure. So thank you everyone for joining and for listening so carefully to Samuel. It was really interesting. Thanks again, Samuel, for the preparation. Now we'll go through the different questions that we have here. So let's start with the first question. Samuel?
Yes.
What is the tool stack to have a great content workflow? Because you mentioned few steps, you shared some screenshots, but what would be the tools for a great content workflow?
So as a company, I think you should consider the following tools in your content workflow. First, project management tools. I can name a few of them, like Monday or Adobe Workfront. Also, obviously, Google Search. I mean, it's clear, it's the best tool to understand the search. Other keyword tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush to do some research. We also recommend to have a scraper tool to be able to extract information about your competitor, and as well, some content tool that can help you create brief, like Through, for example. And finally, the trendy topics is brand visibility. There is tools out there, as I mentioned, like again, Ahrefs and SEMrush, but also Adobe is coming into the SEO game and release a LLM optimizer tool. So I think this is, let's say, the stack that you might need. Obviously, we can go beyond, but if you have already this kind of tools in your toolbox, you will have a solid stack.
Thank you very much. I have another question. So let me go through it. So it's more about the governance. In terms of governance, how to manage a content workflow strategy? Who do I need to actually build the strategy?
So to manage a content workflow, you need several roles. A content strategist, obviously. This person should be in charge of doing interview with your business, with your customers, understanding what kind of topics are important to drive people to your product. Also, this person usually also do set up the content strategy and create the briefs and do the research to create the briefs. Once the briefs are created, you need to work with content writers to write content, obviously. I know AI is out there, so people can say we can skip the content writers, we can just use AI. I will not advise using AI only. I'm not saying you should not use AI, but with a content writer. Finally, you might have an editor as well, people who will integrate all your content in your CMS. And you might have also some designer for different assets and infographics. So these are basically the people involved in the content workflow, but obviously based on the size of your company, you might have more or less people.
You mentioned something just right now about writing and using AI to write. So AI writing, do it or not doing it, and why?
AI writing, good question. As I said, start with AI. I mean, we show you a content brief generated by Through, and it's using AI plus SERP data. So first, you don't only rely on AI. You use AI to summarize and to restructure data out there. And then on top of that, you need to bring your unique point. I like to say that 80% of a content piece can be generated by AI, but then the 20% that are missing is coming from you. You need to bring your own expertise. You need to bring some unique angle, some customer testimonials. You need to bring something that stands out compared to the rest. This is how you will perform.
Thank you. I can see something else. So it's again about the process and actually the pain points. So we have clients, and you also see that on daily basis, Samuel, because you do love SEO, GEO, AO, and so on and so forth. So from what you see so far, what are the pain points that the people are facing in this process?
I'm sorry, you can repeat the question. I was reading something else.
No problem. I was saying, what are the pain points in the process for those people? What is the main issue at the moment?
Yeah, so the pain point in the editorial workflow or in the content creation process, yes. So what we have noticed with our customer is that, well, first there is a document that is shared from hand to hand. What is a document? Usually it's a doc, SharePoint document or Google Doc. So it's not the pain point of doc, but this is something important to notice. This document is shared by people from end to hand. So the struggle right now in the process is that it's not lean at the end of the day when the content is created. It takes a lot of time to still publish this content on the website. So for instance, we spoke with some of our customers, and they sometimes need to take 45 minutes or 1 hour just to take a Google Doc and put it in the CMS. You might know this issue, right? Copy pasting a block, creating a new component, adding the text, and so on. It can be quite time consuming. So the main challenge is time consuming and doing repetitive tasks. But Jonathan, I would like to ask you the question back, because it's also linked to the next webinar. So do you have a solution in mind how we can I will start again, sorry, because I think you heard. So Jonathan, do you have a solution in mind that can improve the editorial workflow and the usage of a content management system?
Yes, Adobe has released Adobe Edge Delivery Services, which is a new version of Adobe Experience Manager, the CMS. The main goal here is to make sure that the editors will save time when it's about contributing content. And one of the great things is that there is a document-based authoring solution that will give the opportunity to the content writer to actually use the Word documents they were giving from the very beginning of the process to create those web pages. I will do a demo about that in the next webinar on the 28th of October. So join us and you will see that the dream can actually come true.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we are really excited, by the way, to also share with you the next webinar, because you will see this new workflow and the capabilities that Adobe Edge Delivery Service can provide is really impressive. We did some demo to our customer, and they're really impressed because, I mean, in few clicks, you can go live with the new content where it took you maybe, as I said, 30, 45 minutes. So sign up for our next webinar, and you will see how we can make your life better. Do you have any other questions, Jonathan, or should we wrap up?
Let's go for 2-3 small ones that I have here. You said you can explain how to build a content strategy in 10 minutes, but you couldn't do it in 10 minutes. How long does it take to create a content strategy like the one you created for this insurance?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a tough question to answer. I mean, obviously, 10 minutes, it was just to give you the high level overview of the steps. Depends how deep we want to go, but honestly, I mean, if we start to collect some questions with main stakeholders, if we use AI just to generate the seed keywords,
yes,
in a few hours with the right people, we can already have a good understanding of what are our core topics to cover. Then we just need to start scraping Google and extracting data, which is done in a few minutes, to be honest.
Okay.
Then the clustering as well, it's just a few minutes of work. The longest part might be to analyze the clustering. So we use we share the Google Sheet where we set up some priority, but this is just to already, let's say, it's just to give us already a kind of shortcuts, but still we need to go into detail of some articles and on some topics to understand the format, to understand the structure. So once we have this long list of keywords, we might need, I don't know, 1 day or 2 to really come with a comprehensive content strategy. And then per topics, we create content brief for you.
Of course, yes.
And this might take 1 hour or 2 per content brief. But basically, I would like to say, lock me in a room for 1 week and you will have a comprehensive content strategy. Then the next point will be to create the content. Here, usually we work with the content writers from the company because, as I said, expert is really important. But then we can also help you here to become more, let's say, effective, and also help you, as I said, with the whole, let's say, contribution or content value chain and content contribution.
Thank you. You said that we can use AI also to define quickly audiences and topics. Is there a prompt or a specific way of doing that?
A specific prompt, you mean?
Yes.
Like
you could share.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I will share. We will share the prompt. I think in the email we can share the prompt, or if anybody is interested, just contact us. I mean, the prompt was quite straightforward. You know, I mean, just ask ChatGPT about pain points, about common issues, about long tail, and then you might have already like a good understanding of the main topic. Yeah.
Thank you. And the last one, is there a method to prioritize the topics, or a formula or a magic Excel sheet that you have?
Yeah, so we are using, as I said, this to prioritize content, we are using an Excel file together with content clustering. So what I didn't mention, or we went a bit fast, but our process of extracting data from Google also extract data about your competitor. So for every single keyword, we know how competitive this query is. We know also if your brand or if brands are visible on AI overview or not. So like this, we can set up from priority and say, okay, what is your goal? You want to be visible for this top of the funnel queries. You have competitors already present there. Okay, so they are present in this guide. So this strategy will be to basically also outreach to these guides and put your names there. So we have, let's say, a formula. We have some good practices to, let's say, do the heavy lifting. But in the end, we still need to deep dive together with you to see also what makes sense for your brand.
Excellent. And if I contact you, I can get this template.
Yeah, Jonathan, you can contact me anytime. You know that I'm really excited to help our customer with content strategy. And yes, to close the webinar at VASS, so we can help you with many topics. So from end to end, help you with your strategy, with how to create great content. We also, once you have the content, how to orchestrate that, what is the best CMS for you, how to improve your publication process. And also we can help you with marketing automation tool. We can help you also with personalization, improving the ROI of your content. But the goal of this webinar was not to sell our companies, it was just to educate our audience. And I hope people liked this webinar. And if you like this one, don't hesitate to join the next one.
Link is in the chat. You will get it via email afterwards. Thank you very much, Samuel. It was really interesting. Happy that I got this seat just next to you to ask a question whenever I wanted.
Thank you, Jonathan. I was happy that you were my sidekick again for this webinar, and I'm looking forward to the next one where you will be the presenter. I won't be in the webinar, I think, by the way. You will be alone with the clients. So, so yeah. So that's it, guys. It was 51 minutes. So I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, don't hesitate to contact us, subscribe to YouTube, like our posts, and contact us on any channel. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.